That way, the Torah is a 4,000-year-old scientific experiment, and it works. Moses, at the very beginning, he's teaching them throughout the book of Deuteronomy. Learn from the past. Look at what happened when you veered from the path of righteousness. Remember when you worshiped the golden calf? Remember when you sent spies into the land? Do you remember Korach? Do you remember all of those mistakes? The Torah today is much stronger. We have 4,000 years of scientific data. Empires rose and empires fall. The Romans, the Greeks, the Ottomans, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Medes, the Persians, pharaohs of Egypt rose and fell. They're all gone, but the Jews that were loyal to the Torah bested them all. The Torah is a living testimony, and the Torah speaks not only to the individual, but specifically to society, not just the individual. It's like ekev tishme'un, when you, in plural, listen. You as a society need to adopt these principles individually, but collectively. While Western Christian writings are focused a little bit more on personal salvation, the Torah is constantly talking to the people of Israel, to a society, to a country, to a kingdom. And the expectation is that the society will function when each individual steps up to the plate. And, you want to defund the police? You can do that. We can defund the police tomorrow. But if you want to do that, only thing that needs to happen, society needs to accept upon itself the 10 commandments. If you have a social contract that every single person keeps the 10 commandments, you practically won't have any use for police. So the world today, it's like totally off kilter. It's almost like we have an ability to be plugged in to a power source, and it gives us a life force, and it makes us want to have more life and give life and bring life into the world. And you can detach yourself from the life force and just live on your own battery. But slowly that battery sort of like peters out, and it definitely doesn't have enough life force to bring new life into the world, or maybe one more life. It's like if you're connected to the source, you're connected to the source of all life. And today the world is like disconnected from everything that brings life. What are the most important things in life? What are the things that make us happiest? There are relationships, our husbands and wives, our children, our parents, our brothers and sisters, our close family, our fellowship, our community. The world today is so lonely. No wife, no husband, no children, no community, no church, no clubs. I just read the most interesting study that showed that more people are bowling today in America than ever before. Bowling, where you roll the ball, then you hit the pins, but less than ever are joining bowling teams. No one wants to be on a team. They just want to go bowling by themselves, or maybe with another person. They don't want to be a part of a team, a club, a society. They want to be alone. It's like the I generation. It's like me instead of we. That's where we're at now. And, I quote this study a lot, the Harvard study of adult development. It's arguably the longest term research project in the world and explores what makes people happy in life. And the study followed 724 participants and their families since 1938, collecting data on their health and their relationships and their well-being. And the main finding of the study is that close relationships, more than money, more than possessions, more than security, achievements, academic degrees, fame, none of that. Close relationships are the thing that keeps people happiest throughout their lives. And what is the world doing today? It's like separating itself from any close relationships. It's like lo tov ha'adam heyot levado. The Bible says in the very first chapter, it's not good for man to be alone. I'm going to make Adam and Eve a union. I'm going to make them come together. And there's a scientist named James Fowler, and he's documented just the impact of our social networks. And our social networks, and that's why the Torah is constantly talking about the tribes, talking about our society. Imagine the way Israel is built. It's so brilliant. It's husband and wife, Abraham and Sarah. Then you have Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Jacob. Then you have 12 sons. You have those 12 sons become tribes, communities inside the tribes. There's families that are within tribes. And then all of those things become a nation. It's like from the smallest, it grows and grows. But the most important connections are husband and wife, ultimately. And what does James Fowler says? It says, listen, the people that you're around, the people that you associate with, your social circles, they are going to have a huge impact on who you are and on what you do. If your closest friends are overweight, you're probably also going to be overweight. If your closest circles around you, if they don't smoke cigarettes, you're probably not going to be smoking cigarettes. It's just an absolute life hack. Surround yourself with people that you admire. Surround yourself with people that you want to be like, and just by being around them, you'll become more like them. It's like, you know what happens when you're a drug dealer? Yeah, hang around with other drug dealers and drug addicts. You know what happens when you're a member of the fellowship? You hang around with the most amazing people on planet Earth. And you hang around with like the greatest souls of the world. And imagine that. I bet Yuval Noah Harari, that Tehila quoted, would call a lot of us the useless class because we're not a part of the elite or whatever the hell they see themselves as. Where in God's eyes, he never talks about the kings or the astronomers or the scientists. What does he care about? The orphan, the widow, the lonely, the poor, the downtrodden. He wants just to see kindness and love in this world. And like, where is kindness, unity, and love expressed greater than in our fellowship? Like, what a living example we are. What a like a slap in the face to that secular ideology. Surround people that walk with God. When you walk in the world, you walk with them. And so why are people living alone? And if they do commune with others, they're usually hanging around with the wrong people. I mean, how could these educated countries be making such stupid policies? So intelligent and so stupid at the same time. King Solomon said it first. Reshit Chochmah Yirat Adonai. The beginning of wisdom is fear of the Lord. And so if the world would adopt the Torah standard for living, there would be no more war. We wouldn't need armies. We wouldn't need police, period.